Our functional mathematics topic for today is telling time. We're going to be practicing our time telling skills for the next 3 weeks. And so today we're going to do a brief overview. It'll be telling time 101. We're going to focus on telling time to the hour and to the half hour, since they are pretty straightforward for the most part, okay? So what does it mean to tell time? Okay, well, let's talk about what time is, okay? And this is a kind of very abstract topic, but I'm gonna try and make it as concrete as possible. So time, for our purposes, is just what a clock reads. Time is continuous, and we can really parse time into 3 different categories. Past, already happened, present, currently happening, and future, will soon happen. So to tell the time, we use a clock. It's also important to note that in addition to time as hours on a clock, time of day is also separated. So we know that there are 24 hours in a day, and so our day is halved. It's 2 12-hour segments that we can refer to as AM, which is early morning and morning, and PM, afternoon and night. So there's 12 AM hours and 12 PM hours for a total of 24. That's one full day. So these are 2 different examples of clocks that we'll be looking at. The first one on the left is called a digital clock. It's digital because it literally just reads the number. Okay, so you might find a digital clock on your watch. You might have it on your phone. You probably will have it on your phone, rather. Computers use this, your tablet or iPad. A lot of things use a digital clock. Your oven uses a digital clock in all likelihood. And then to the right, we have what's called an analog clock. And so telling time with a digital clock is super easy. You just look at it and read the numbers. Telling time with an analog clock is a little more challenging because we need to interpret the time based on the hands of the analog clock. So for this lesson, like I said, we'll be focusing on telling time using an analog clock. An analog clock is unique because it uses 2 hands, okay, that point to the time. These aren't actual hands that you think of like your hand, right? These are right here in blue. The shorter hand is called the hour hand, all right? It's in blue in this picture, and it literally says hour, so that helps us figure it out. The long hand in red for this picture is the minute hand. It's telling time to the minute. So time is read as hours and minutes, a combination of hours and minutes. Let's look at some examples. All right, so telling time to the hour. When the long hand, which is the minute hand, right here, it's also in blue, is pointing up at the 12, we say that the time is on the hour. You can also read it as blank o'clock. So this clock, for example, reads 3 o'clock. Why? Because the minute hand is pointing to the 12, which tells me o'clock on the hour, and the short hand, which is the hour hand, is pointing to the 3. So telling time to the hour is super straightforward. The minute hand will always be pointing up at the 12, and the hour hand will be pointing at whatever the hour is. So in this case, it's 3 o'clock. If my red shorthand were pointing to the 5 and the blue long minute hand were still pointing to the 12, it would be 5 o'clock, and so on, okay? So time to the hour, really straightforward. Minute hand, long hand points to 12. Hour hand, shorthand points to a different number. Now, telling time to the half hour is also pretty straightforward. When the long hand, which is the minute hand, is pointing down at the 6, we say the time is half past or blank 30, meaning the time is to the half hour. So in this clock, for example, I have my long minute hand pointing down. I have my short hour hand in between the 2 and the 3. So this clock reads as 2:30. Now you might be asking, why, Miss Morris? It's in between two numbers. Well, the hour hand, like you said, is in between the 2 and the 3, meaning the hour is still 2 something, right? It's not yet 3 o'clock because the hour hand has not yet passed the 3. So if it's in between two numbers, you want to pick the number that comes before, all right? Or the number to the left. Okay, so in this case, the time is 2:30. 2:30. If it's in between two numbers, go with the number on the left, okay, or the number that comes before. All right, so let's practice this. I realized this is a lesson that really more easily lends itself to in-person learning, and I do apologize for that. It's helpful if you guys have a Judy clock. A Judy clock is literally what this is called. It's a handheld clock that you can physically manipulate in order to practice telling time. So if you and your parents have the resources, I highly suggest getting a Judy clock. If you would like one, please have your parent reach out to me and I can provide a class set to my students, okay? All right, so let's practice telling time. And remember, long hand, minute hand, short hand, hour hand, minute, hour, minute, hour. So directions say to choose the correct time that is displayed on the analog clock. So I'll do the first one for us. My minute hand is pointing down at the 6. Okay, so that tells me it's half hour automatically. My hour hand is in between the 1 and the 2, so I'm going to pick the number that comes before, which is 1. So this clock reads 1:30. All right, let's look at the second example right here. My minute hand is still on the 6, which tells me it is to the half hour, which is great since that's pretty much my only option. And my hour hand is in between the 5 and the 6. So what number comes before? It's the 5. So this clock reads 5:30. Very good. Let's look at this example right here. The long minute hand is pointing up at the 12, which tells me it's o'clock. It's on the hour. So I just need to look at the hour hand, which is the short hand, to see what number it's pointing to. It's pointing perfectly to 10, so I would say the time is 10 o'clock, right? The hour hand's pointing to 10, the minute hand's up at the 12, which tells me it's on the hour. Let's practice this skill again. Minute hand's on the 12, hour hand's on the 5. What time is it? Good job, it's 5 o'clock. Awesome. We're gonna go down here to the bottom. Minute hand's on the 12, hour hand's on the 9. What time is it? It is 9 o'clock. Good job. And last one. Minute hand is on the 6. Hour hand is between the 8 and the 9. It's half hour. We're going to pick the number that comes before. It is 8:30. Fantastic. All right. I look forward to practicing this skill with you guys more in depth. Again, we will try our best to get through it. I realize it's better with hands-on resources, and I wish I could provide everyone that. Unfortunately, I cannot, but we'll make do, okay? I will see you guys in your lessons today.